This WPVI-TV Channel 6, Philadelphia. It's 12 noon.
Visit campersinn.com.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program with Dave Frankel, with Williams and Monica Malpass.
A federal agency will
12 noon on this Thursday, April 11, 1996. Big story in Action News is in Richland, where two 40-foot trailers packed with hundreds of tires have been discovered on woodlands off East Cherry Road, adjacent to property owned by a company linked to Daniel Carr.
Police found a man covered in blood.
Carr, who was in Montgomery County Prison, faced an April 23rd hearing on charges that he illegally dumped the tires, which were set on fire beneath Interstate 95 last month. He also faces a hearing in Montgomery County Court on Friday for alleged violating probation in the case, which he was charged with falsifying and safe primitive collect and recycle tires. In addition, a Bucks County judge has Will Carr, who operates a car tire and an automotive specialist at
Under a federal lens.
211 East Broad Street, Quakertown, and condemned the court failing to remove hundreds of thousands of tires on a 91-acre site along Side Bella Road in Richland Township. Walt Township officials have taken note of the newly found trailers proximity to a car related property to a 30 East Cherry Road. They do not know how the trailers were packed with tires arrived at the site off the Cherry Road or who brought them there. Carr's attorney Haywood Becker declined commenting on the two trailers of tires. Becker said he had no knowledge of the situation. In addition, he has petitioned Bucks County Court to allow him to withdraw on Carr's counsel on the case involving the Hiller Road site. The trailer was noticed with reported to township officials within the past 2 weeks. Officials estimate that they were moved to the 20-acre property owned by Phil Slinks within the past month. Township officials in turn reported a sudden appearance that the trailers had expanded a hold between 2,420 tires to state officials. A government that they were full of tires and they didn't call the DEP, the State Department of Environmental Protection, and the State Attorney General's office, said George Garner, a Township's planning and zoning officer. Supervisor Earl Klein said that the trailers were reported to the township by representatives of GGM Tractors Incorporated, that the firm is in the process of purchasing of neighboring property. They don't want to be blamed for it, Klein said. Trail are located
Right now we're looking at readings into this.
just north of the property on 39 East Cherry Road, which county record shows that it's owned by DTSPK Investment Group, and 2 East Beach Valley Road in Chivon and address Carr.
Then drop off as we head toward.
And family members have used state capital records show that DTSPK was registered in 1968 and is owned by Laurel Carr. Rob Goldberg, a DEP spokesman, said the DTSPK is a Daniel Carr related firm. July 1995, DEP issued a notice of violation in Daniel Carr, DTSPK Investment Group 2 East Beach Valley Road, Chopon for the Cherry Road area property, which was the former site of the Loader and Shop Company. And the citation stated that the former leader and shop site purchased by DTSPK in 1995 remained was in violation of the state waste rules, including an improper disposal of the construction waste. A DEP inspector was at the site last week in response to a report on the trailers. The inspector found a new pile of waste at the site, and DEP has not yet received proof of that the waste, which was been removed and has been properly disposed of. Goldberg said, while the trailers and tires are on the concern of the DEP, the tires do not.
Vehicles collided. Massive flames devouring both vehicles.
A Penridge High School sophomore is in critical condition at a Philadelphia hospital after being diagnosed with a form of spinal meningitis.
When he woke to scream.
Adam Bensick was brought to Children's Hospital in critical condition on Friday, according to Louis D. Polk, the director of the Bucks County Health Department. That's where you find Action News reporter
You just saw the light in the window and you just hear everybody.
Kevin Gandolfo report. Kevin, a meningitis of membrane surrounding the brain and spinal cord swells, which often leads to death. Polk believes classmates are not at risk for catching meningitis from Bensick. He said it was a short 3-day incubation period, and Bensick have been out of school for Easter vacation means any classmate who might have developed symptoms already have done so. Superintendent Robert Kish said after leaving Bensick had meningitis, he had extremely concerned other students might have been the disease. However, said that a school physician, Dr. William Conrad of Percassi, has shared them to students are unlikely to catch the disease. Kish said students had not come into contact with each other for any 2 other days besides Bensick developed symptoms.
5 students, their 3 chaperones also died, and both the driver.
Friday, students started Easter vacation at the end of the day Wednesday and did not return to school until Tuesday. Letters were sent home to all the parents Tuesday, and none reported that their children being seriously ill. Kish said antibiotics have been given to those who were in close contact with a student. Polk is now continuing in the pain and the seriousness of the disease from which Bensick is suffering, but said there were little risk anyone else will be infected. According to the health department director, as many as 10% of the Bucks County residents carry the bacterium that caused causes meningitis, but very few people develop symptoms in more than 500,000 county residents last year. Polk said only 5 came down with spinal meningitis. Of the general population, only about 1 in 100,000 people exposed to the bacterium have developed symptoms of disease is more than likely to occur in close quarters, such as sport and the military schools, which evidently have broken out. For disease to spread, the infected person must come in contact with people that are funny of a family sharing meals. About disease, membrane surrounding the brain, the spinal cord as well, which often leads to death. As many as 10% of Bucks County residents carry the bacterium that causes meningitis, but very few people develop symptoms. Only about 1 in 100,000 people exposed to the bacterium develop symptoms. People most successful with the disease include those with lower natural immunity and high fever, headache, nausea, and a stiff neck are early symptoms of meningitis. Meningitis usually reaches its full-blown form when the hours after symptoms appear. That says Kevin off of Children's Hospital Fund. WPVI Channel 6 Action News.
Were stolen. Police do believe
Well, thank you.
are related.
Kathy? In Doylestown, West Jesus, a Democrat or Republican, probably an independent, said U.S. Representative James C. Greenwood. Definitely a liberal, said the Reverend Lane Hacksoff, likely a New Deal Democrat, said Randy Reynolds of the Freedom to Learn Network.
Years old. Police are
So we get an open discussion about the role of religion in American politics, sponsored by the Southeast and Pennsylvania Interfaith Alliance. A group formed up of people of faith with an alternative to the religious right. The forum was held Wednesday night at Doylestown Presbyterian Church. Lenny Mungancy, executive editor of the Intelligent to record palace of Christian as moderator. The audited discussion centered on religious rights and meaning the Christian coalition and the perception that it was intolerant and pushing the ideals upon the general public. Reynolds, a history professor at Temple University, said he doesn't feel the ideological message to the religious right, but they're protected. The religious right has framed their arguments into apocryphal struggles and ultimate good versus ultimate evil. He said there is no compromise. There is an open hostility to those who do not conform to their worldview, Reynolds said. The American system thrives on flexibility and consensus, he said. Issues like abortion, prayer, and school choice have written religious people, Greenwood said. The greatest challenge, he said, is been one in religious beliefs such as compassion, integrity, responsibility, and restraining the public policy with forcing people to worship your religion. Take the abortion issue, Greenwood said, because it's central to the discussion tonight. Some people of faith believe life begins at conception, however, religious people believe it begins at birth. For those who believe life begins at conception, the force of view upon those who do not believe that without a consensus flies in the face of the Constitution, he said. At the same time, to start calling people extremists poisons public debate, Greenwood said. Over the past decade, there has been a growing decline in the moral values of American culture, Greenwood said. The Christian coalition has been a reaction to restore what they believe a core moral values where he parts ways, he said, is an attempt to force tenets and beliefs upon others who do not hold those beliefs when there is no consensus. In Philadelphia, fares will increase, but commuter rail line service probably won't be affected in Bucks and Montgomery counties as SEPTA tries to close a $75 million budget deficit. It's unclear whether bus routes will be affected in this area. In the Southeast Pennsylvania Transportation Authority Board approves a budget proposal by General Manager Louis J. Gamaccini. The Transit Authority will reduce its administrative and hourly payroll in structured service and increase most fares an average of 6%. We didn't have anything specific at the point, except the spokesman Jim Whitaker said Wednesday. We don't know how bus routes, especially what railroads, especially at this point, nothing is specific. The proposal, however, calls for elimination of low ridership, particularly expensive transit routes and commuter rail lines. The R5 Doylestown and R2 Warminster, both of which travel through Montgomery County on their way into Center City, doesn't appear to be in that category. Whitaker said the R5 Doylestown segment has the second highest ridership of all commuter rail lines, and the R2 Warminster line ranks 7th out of 15 line segments that make up the 7 commuter routes. The R6 Cinewood route on the main line has the R40's lowest ridership, he said. The budget proposal for the fiscal year 1997, which begins on July 1st, assumes no restoration of funding cuts as additional subsidies from the state. Gamaccini said that the deficit stems from decline in passenger revenue coupled with a loss of about $35 million in operating subsidies and $160 million less in capital support. The proposal submitted in the SEPTA board chairman Thomas Hayward, but not formally presented to the board of approval until the conclusion of public hearings come.
Do I take this exit?
In the beginning proposed reducing 680 management and administration posts positions, create savings on $30 million, reducing up to 650 hourly positions as a result of service restructuring about 12% of the SEPTA workforce. It's continuing in defining an unspecified number of transit routes and rail lines, especially which have been chronic low ridership and which are particularly expensive. SEPTA operates about the 5 county region that would generate about $35 million in savings.